Spectre Studios. Play with the spirit of the game. Come on. Hey, what's in the box? What's in the box?
Whiz Kids Heroclik's world's finest.
Welcome to another Spectre Studios Heroclik production. I'm here with Ben, Steven. We just finished our world's finest. Yes, Ben, Steven. Ben, Steven.
I'm not Ben Steven.
You're Ben Steven. Now you're Ben Steven.
Oh, alright.
Alright, so we're at the complex on Route 1 in Scarborough. Ben is the judge at Weekend Anime in Westbrook, Maine. So we got some of the local judges. The other one's short, ugly, and bald. If you ever see him smacking, he's out at Crossroads.
He's got hair under control.
All over. So, before we get going, we got a little video clip to show you that popped up.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
What a night.
yeah. So, take a look at this and see what you think of that, and we'll come right back to you.
Yep.
the end of the booster has been opened, and as you can see, oh, it's blue. Let's see what he pulls out of the God pack. He pulls out, oh my goodness, look at the stuff he pulled. That looks like maybe a little Spectre, or Shazam, Green Lantern. Oh, that's ridiculous. We're gonna mug him now. So, you know, wow. Yeah, that's amazing. That's awesome. That's cool.
Well, happy Hanukkah to our friend Richard, who is going home super, super happy.
And spending some time on eBay, I hope.
Yeah. Oh, probably. I mean, it's hard to let go of stuff like that, but at the prices right now, I probably would.
Yeah.
Give myself another holiday.
It's a pre-release. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
I'm not sure how I feel about the God packs. I remember Hammer Thor getting one, going 4 super rares and a chase. That's awesome. 5 chases.
5 chases. We also saw this in the Batman set with the same blue packs.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't mind the Superman where it was common, uncommon, rare, super rare, chase. I liked that. That felt
That was
like
nice.
a good pack.
yeah.
But 2 cases. We opened both cases. 2 chases and a God pack. So
And
2
3
chases
primes.
and
3
3
primes.
primes.
Yeah. No duplication, right?
Yeah, we get 2 poison items.
Oh, that's right.
But you know, it's a common prime, so we get the two common
Commons
primes
and
and
uncommon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
not unheard of.
No, definitely not.
Stuff.
But I mean, you know, the question I think, and it was posed, and you know, maybe it would be a little bit more underhanded for Whiz Kids to do it, but did Whiz Kids stock the pre-release kits with God packs just to create the excitement?
Yeah.
It's viable, it's possible. I just don't know if they did it. I mean, I think it's more of they got the shipment in from Korea or Japan, wherever it comes from.
Bangladesh.
Big giant pile of boxes,
Up
and
and
they
down.
went, okay, how many pre-release kits do we need? Okay, grab those. Okay, ship the rest out 2 weeks.
It could be. It wouldn't be the worst marketing move in the world, but you know, we have to consider the number of venues in the world and also the number of pictures of God packs that we've seen, which I think is, for myself, is like 4 or 5 versus how many places. I know they haven't all reported in yet, and not everyone will post a picture online, but it's something to consider. Also, speaking of super,
I also looked at the case though, and
Yeah.
the cases have the same serial numbers. There was the whole idea of finding the white rabbits with the different serial numbers.
Oh, yeah.
They're the same, so
Okay.
we also haven't seen any God packs with a Superman chase in it at
Which
all,
is odd.
anywhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably deliberate, but mysterious.
Yeah, maybe.
Where's
Yeah.
Supes?
Yeah, who knows? Okay, so anyways, so we've talked about some kind of positives and some negatives that we saw with the set and playing with the figures and stuff like that. Ben, why don't you talk about your favorite?
Man, you know, I
Need a
sat
gorilla.
down.
Hey, you don't get that
You
was
need,
last
you,
time.
need a piece of business, right?
I need something there.
I was really hoping to pull Alloy,
little
the
French.
Superman-Batman duo, you know, a Green Lantern of some sort, something like that to play with, and I pulled the Alloy, and I was like, wow, I'm going to be really happy with this. I'm going to wreck some face. I went 0-3, which is ridiculously uncomfortably bad for me, and Alloy really didn't make it.
Fortunately, you pulled that tin though.
I did pull that tin. Alloy was able to be replaced and only give my opponent 50 points instead of 275 every time I lost. Bittersweet
dirty.
victory.
It was dirty.
It was real gross, I'm not gonna
It
lie.
was nice. I hated it when I beat you.
Yeah,
A couple.
I hated it too, don't worry.
But, you know.
All right, so Art, what was your positive of the set, or you know the
Positive I like. As much as chases sort of are, everybody likes them. Obviously, the sculpts were great. I liked the concept of the other point line, sort of the colossal retaliation lines. Place them 6 squares away. They do a funky thing. Somebody gets knocked out. They can start playing again. I just like the idea of that. A different game mechanic that we haven't seen before.
Yeah. Speaking of game mechanics, you know, I'll talk about my favorite is honestly the swap out mechanic that they have in this set for
Yeah.
the Superman and the Batman is amazing. It's better than any of the other swap mechanics, whether you go back to AEs or
Easily,
you
yeah.
know, any kind of you know, replay, you know, do this and replace this figure afterwards or whatever. This is you replace with a free action. As long as the figure you're giving the free action to started that turn on the map, you can give that one a free action to swap out to another Superman or another Batman. The Batman's come in at 60 points apiece, and the versatility is just ridiculous. You got a Batman that can outwit, you have a Batman that can charge, you have a Batman that can run and shot. You can
And I
have
like the sculpts match what they're doing. The outwitty
Yes.
Batman
Yeah.
leaning down,
It
and
almost looks like he's looking at a crime scene or like off a rooftop or something. He's studying.
Yeah.
the hypersonic Superman's got the blur. Then
Yeah.
the running shot one has the eyes. He's running.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I know I played with one of the Batmans that I pulled another Batman so I could swap him out with.
Same here.
And I played against a guy that was playing with two of the Supermen.
That's fun.
And was constantly swapping them out.
Good.
And it was really awesome just to be able to play in that way, to be able to kind of use the figures to be as versatile as they're supposed to be. Somebody else made the comment of Batman literally being like he has his utility belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's an easy enough mechanic that even new players can pick it up. We saw people playing clicks for the second or third time ever.
Yep.
Getting a hold of that mechanic real quick, and that's intuitive. That's the way the game should flow.
And what I like is they're worth the 90 points. They're worth the 60 points.
Yeah.
And then there's tactics and skills to be able to get them into play and get the most out of the Batmans, the Supermans.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it done again. It would give us a Doctor Strange that, oh, I'm Healy, oh, I'm in the astral plane, oh, I'm mind controlling. You know, it could be applied to a bunch of different guys.
Give us a Green Lantern that puts up barriers, that makes constructs over here, that does everything. Yeah.
I was, again, maybe this color being a Marvel fan, and I know that we've gotten tons of Iron Mans over the past year and a half or so.
Would be a good one.
But
Ooh.
Iron Man with the versatility of his suits, I mean, we could even, we look at Amazing Spider-Man. We had the three common Spider-Mans
Yeah.
Yeah.
that all swap out, but the swap out mechanic was so horrible. If
Underwhelming.
they had this mechanic, those would have been actually like halfway viable pieces. I think.
Yeah.
Sure would.
But anyway, okay, so that's our positives. I mean, not to say that there aren't other positives. I'm sure people will find their own.
I'm gonna touch on something that I hated in the last set, and that's the reuse of sculpts.
Okay.
I hated Wonder Woman, Superman. Oh look, Reporter and Jimmy Olsen. I hated that they were all the same. They were all painted. And then when I saw that Superman and Batman were multiples in the same set, I went, oh my god. Thank you, Whiz Kids, for giving us different sculpts on those, and a reason for it. If you're gonna reuse sculpts, sure, the Demon and Etrigan, I don't mind. What else was there? There was
Blackbriar, Thorn, and the Druid.
Yeah.
They're obviously different. One's a generic version of a named character.
Sure.
So, like, I didn't mind the Reporter and Jimmy Olsen, but
And
three
here's the thing:
Supermans with the same sculpt.
we came on. The last set we that was one of our minuses. But you know what? I've been doing some research and I was doing some reading, and there's a good amount of argument to be used for why Whiz Kids is doing it. You actually mentioned earlier about the whole digital sculpting. It's very easy and cost effective for a company to go in and just ever so slightly modify something, whether it change the color or you raise their arm up just a little bit or
You're
something.
absolutely right. Subtly change it. Last set it was Wonder Woman. We're all the same. Superman. We're all the same with a couple little blurs on one.
Yeah, and now I think with this set, with the multiple sculpts and everything like that, they did a much better job with it. But so Ben, what would be a negative for you in this set?
This is something that I thought would be a positive, that I was really looking forward to bigger 300-point teams, because this is a set where even the 3 or 4 Supermen are 90 points apiece. We see teams where every piece is fairly either underutilized or not that effective, and then one-man armies just come in and wreck everything. Whether it's a Chase or the Superman-Batman duo, who absolutely trounced tonight in our venue.
Chases were brutal.
Yeah, and they're not even necessarily high points in other sets, but in this set they are.
Yeah. And they can get support. I mean, I fielded Wonder Woman with 2 Metal Men and Batman.
Yeah.
It's just not right.
This is a set where the 3 or 4 man team should have been the norm, and every team should have been diverse and have support and close and range, and it just didn't stand up against the OMAs that I felt like they were trying to go against conceptually. I was excited for it, and I was let down when I saw it in person.
It didn't have any balance within the set. There was some real high end stuff, and then
Really?
it was like everything was here, and
It was
then
high
there
and low,
this.
and nothing else really in between except the chases
Right.
and a couple other pieces.
I don't know. I mean, and not to play devil's advocate or anything like that, but
No, he wouldn't do that.
No.
I played against the world's finest super rare and lost, yes, but I can't necessarily say if that was because of my team or because of his team.
Now
For me,
recap your team if you don't mind.
My team was one of the common Batmans supplemented with the rare Batman, so I could swap them out. The Prime Superman, the uncommon Prime Superman, that's the Poison Ivy controlled, Blackbriar Thorn, and Crazy Quilt.
Crazy Quilt.
And Crazy Quilt was
very cool.
It was fun for 40 points.
I gotta use Condiment Man sometimes, just because it's.
Oh, I like the ridiculous figures.
Yeah.
The Black Cat, the Condiment Man, whose last name is Mayo. Man, come on. That's fun. It's just all fun. The Teagle that runs
Alyosha Craven and 20 cats.
Yeah, that's right. Oh God. But anyway, so it was the fact that I kept on for 3 attacks in a row. My Superman Prime missed with rolling a 5 each time, 3 times in a row.
This dice control.
Had I
wrote something on the blog about that.
Had I hit with
No, really, I did.
any one of those attacks, it could have been a very, very different game.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that I wouldn't have still lost, but
Would have been closer.
I think I would have been. I think that my team that I was fielding would have had a much better chance to combat that. It was just the fact that my dice rolls weren't.
Would have been a different mental game
It
too for you.
very much feels like the tent poles are really solid tent poles.
Yes.
And everybody else is good support.
Having said that, 207-point ally starts out with a 19 defense that you can pop up to a 20 with his Perplex, shape change and invincible, and went down like a truck every time.
Outwit.
Yeah, double outwit on a 60-point figure didn't help.
Yeah. Well, it didn't help that you rolled and I inferred full.
And then you made the impervious roll and 8 damage.
Yeah, 8
What are you
damage, and I
gonna
just
do?
avoided.
There's a Batman with a special power, and he can use Outwit twice, or he can leave the power Outwit. It's one of the really good Batman utility. Again, you swap him out. He gets a detective token. Somebody takes damage. He gets a detective token. He outwits, removes the token, and he can either outwit again, that same figure, or he can choose that the outwit stays even if you lose the power. So basically, you outwit. Power stays outwitted. You pop him off. You bring in one of your other Batmans that doesn't have outwit.
Which I did a couple times. I used him to outwit, and then I brought in the one with flurry.
Yeah,
and I outwit your defense.
And you
pop
house.
Yeah.
It's real dumb.
So it's. I mean,
And that was only with 2 of
That's
them.
a good point.
Yeah, true.
I didn't have the running shot one, and I didn't have the.
It's awful.
What was the other one? Oh, incapacitate. Oh, the out of the shadows one, basically.
Yeah,
Out of the
yeah,
shadows.
running against the brick wall.
Yeah.
Nice sculpts on those, and the sculpts actually show what they do. It's nice.
Yeah, the sculpts are great.
Yeah.
They nailed the sculpts.
As far as a negative for me, the only negative, and this is a little bit colored because I'm not a huge DC fan, but this is actually a comment that I heard made by another player. Who are all these characters? Yes, we have our Supermans, we have our Batmans, we have a Joker and a Lex Luthor, but the sub themes, we got Doom Patrol and the Metal Men.
I like them.
Mystical guys.
They're not
mystical.
They're not top name characters for DC.
I think this is how we get those characters at all, is you shove them in a set called Superman and Batman, World's Finest.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason we would ever get them. They couldn't stand on their own.
That's true. Well, what
Let's have a Doom Patrol set.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, and that's been common. I mean, like we had, Iron Man set, we had a Deadpool set, we had a Flash set.
This feels like Superman and Batman and 3 sub themes: Mysticals, Doom Patrol, and Metal Men. Now, Metal Men I like personally, but they're a little obscure.
Very. Sure, it's Doom Patrol too.
Doom Patrol is pretty obscure, and I was unimpressed with the Mysticals. I mean, that's my negative. Is the solicit says magical and mystical monsters are like, yes, give me more different versions of spirits and zombies and monsters.
And then we get a worse version of Etrigan that we just had and didn't need replaced.
Yeah.
Weird.
He's not very good, but he's ugly. I don't like the sculpt at all.
Ugly.
You look at the sculpt, he's just yellow.
I like the sculpt.
The sculpt blows.
It's an OG sculpt.
It is. Yes, but go back to Brave and the Bold, and I love that one. The Brave and the Bold one with the cape blowing out and the flame blowing out.
Absolutely.
Even going back to the first one they did, what was it?
Crouching down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was.
Crouching down one. The Flash one with a cool sword. Like, man.
Yeah, the one that's not original, but yeah.
No. It's original gangster.
I'm looking forward to monsters, and I get witches and warlocks.
And a cat.
a cat. Now, granted, I'm gonna have 50 cats,
Because they're so cool.
but it's
But it's the mystical
cat.
sub-theme, and what we get for the
I
mystical
get a
sub-theme is
demon, which is a
cat.
repainted Etrigan.
And not well.
Yeah, he's
How many-
that way.
Wait, how many points is a cat?
13.
13.
So you get
Bad.
13-point pussy.
Triskaidekaphobia.
Hey, you know, this is a
13-point pussy cat?
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
So yeah, I was really disappointed that you solicit mysticals and all that, and we get.
And Zatanna's dad and a cat.
Yeah, we got Zatara. Oh, great, that's cool. He's Zatanna redialed. We got the Wizard. Who the hell's the Wizard? I don't know.
We got Blackbriar Thorn.
Who?
Yeah.
Blackbriar Thorn. Again, who? Yes.
Yeah.
Clarion,
But
I
Clarion-
recognize
Clarion the
from-
Witch Boy.
Clarion.
Justice.
I was hoping we'd get a Clarion because
We
he's
got
a mystical.
we got a Jason Blood in and a new Jason
Yeah.
Blood and new Etrigan.
Not that we needed him, but yeah,
Either one.
original.
Yeah.
And 100 points for Jason Blood is a little high.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of an uber support piece.
Especially
but
in a
still.
set where Superman is 90.
Yeah,
Good
that's,
yeah.
point.
that's kind of
So good.
crazy.
Yeah.
But anyways, so there's some positives, there's some negatives. There's our thoughts for what they're worth.
One question is, how is Night Lantern going to affect the meta from here on out, where almost any Marvel piece can be a possessor? That remains to be seen. We did not see him played in seals.
I think the set was pretty cool.
I like the set. I like again. I'm looking for my Batman. I want one of every Batman from the set, so I can really do the sloppy thing.
And fortunately, they didn't make the super rare have the trait. It's 2 commons, an uncommon, and a rare.
We get a super rare Batman and Superman, but
Yeah.
they don't go with the others, so that's fine if you don't have them. Of course, all the Green Lanterns I want are either rare primes or chases. So
I saw somebody was
maybe I'll
complaining
get
about
it.
that on.
But that's always the case, you know. It's the case with the last set, and what are you gonna do?
We need a Green Lantern set. Oh, we did. We just had more light. What are you complaining about? The whole set was Lantern. Shut up.
Sealed. I don't think a lot of people have yet, because of course it's a pre-release
Right.
tonight, and it's a rare prime. But I think that's going to be the biggest question going forward. The Colossal Retaliation type mechanic on the chases and Night Lantern.
I don't know if the chases are going to see a whole lot of meta. I mean, they're.
Not even at the 25 or 30 point level?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, we're not seeing it from the Colossal Retaliation. I thought we would.
Yeah.
All right, so
That's addiction for you.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully you put up with us for this long. Hopefully you check out other videos. Like I said, there's a blog online on the site. If you're in the Southern Maine area, let us know. Come down and play, and we'll talk to you in a couple months.
For the complex and Ben and Art, and myself, have a good night.